Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I hope you guys have had a great day. Me personally, I'm having a great day. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Joseph Thompson's World, or JT7296 at gmail.com. This is Joseph Thompson's World, and today I'm going to be making another video talking about City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. This is the third book in the Mortal Instruments series. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, click the like button, and push the notification bell so you get all of my videos. What's up? So, I've been waiting to make this video, and I knew that I wanted to make another one today, and keep the series going. And so we are still talking about City of Glass, Mortal Instruments. We're on chapter 10, still on chapter 10, and kind of halfway through it. I didn't get to finish the chapter 10 yesterday with you guys because I had other things to do. I just got back from the store, and I'm here just reading, and I was trying to find the perfect time to make this video. And so when I got off work, it was like, you know, I'm just gonna sit down here, make this video as quick as I can, and still talk about City of Glass. So, hashtag the Shadowhunter guy. That is what I am. I am the Shadowhunter guy. Shadowhunter guy is where we talk about all the books in the Mortal Instruments series, and we kind of analyze and do an audiobook on all these books where I read to you guys about the Shadowhunters. So, in the City of Glass, a little bit of a recap. Let me see. So, Clary and Jace just made out, and they just got visions from Valentine about an angel who's been imprisoned. But now, as they come back from there and try to go back to Alicante, they are attacked by a demon, and the city is burning down. Samuel is still talking to Simon as he's locked up, and there's a war basically going around in Alicante, the city, and so Max, Isabel, and Sebastian are all together trying to survive in the city, and that is pretty much where we're at right now. So, I'm going to go ahead and dive right into the reading as soon as possible. If you already have your book with you, I'm on page 223. I'm sorry, 233. And I'm going to start up from like the second paragraph. And there we are. If you love Shadowhunters, this is definitely where you need to be. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of great content in my videos. This is also a part of BookTube. I want to give a huge shout out to any booktubers out there. It is so much fun to be making these videos. I love the books. I love the interaction. And if you're into Shadowhunters, this is the place to be. If you have not read the Shadowhunter books, I don't know why. You should be going out there. You are missing out on a ton of cool stuff. Go get the Mortal Instruments series. It's not that much money. It is so much fun to do. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. There is so much in these books that I love. I love City of Glass. I love the Mortal Instruments series. I have 2 more books coming up in the next month. And, yeah, I mean, if you haven't read the series, you're missing out. So, back to the reading. We're on page 233, chapter 10. And we're going to start from the first paragraph and just work our way down. She got to her feet. I'm going to get my stele. I'll be right back and help you with the rooms, Sebastian. He nodded. I could use some help. These aren't my specialty. Isabel went upstairs without asking him what speciality might actually be. Take my shoes off. Excuse me. Give me 1 second. She felt bone tired and dire need of an energy mark. She could do one herself if necessary, though Alec and Jace had always been better at those sort of rooms than she was. Once inside her room, she rummaged through her things for her stele and a few extra weapons. As she shoved seraph blades into the tops of her boots, her mind was on Alec in the way they'd shared as he'd gone out the door. It wasn't the first time she watched her brother leave, knowing she might never see him again. It was something she accepted, had always accepted, as part of her life. It wasn't until she'd gotten to know Clary and Simon that she'd realized that for most people, of course, it was never like this. They didn't live with death as a constant companion, a cold breath down the back of her neck, or even the most ordinary days, She'd always had such contempt for mundanes, the way all shadowhunters did. She believed that they were soft, stupid sheep-like in their complacency. Now she wondered if all that hatred didn't just stem from the fact that she was jealous. It must be nice not worrying that every time one of your family members walked out the door they'd never come back. She was halfway down the stairs, her stele in hand, when she sensed that something was wrong. The living room was empty. Max and Sebastian were nowhere to be seen. There was a half-finished protection mark on one of the logs Sebastian had nailed over the broken window. The hammer he'd used was gone. Her stomach tightened. "Max," she shouted, turning in a circle. "Sebastian, where are you?" Sebastian's voice answered her from the kitchen. "Isabel, in here." Relief washed over her, leaving her lightheaded. "Sebastian, that's not funny," she said, marching into the kitchen. "I thought you were—" She let the door fall shut behind her. It was dark in the kitchen, darker than it had been in the living room. She strained her eyes to see Sebastian and Max and saw nothing but shadows. "Sebastian," uncertainty crept into her voice. "Sebastian, what are you doing here? Where's Max?" "Isabel." She thought she saw something move, a shadow dark against lighter shadows. His voice was soft, kind, almost lovely. She hadn't realized before now what a beautiful voice he had. "Isabel, I'm sorry." "Sebastian, you're acting weird. Stop it." "I'm sorry. It's you," he said. Out of all of them, I liked you the best." "Sebastian." "Out of all of them," he said again in the same low voice, "I thought you were the most like me." He brought his fist down then with the hammer in it. I think he just knocked Isabel the fuck out. I'm so sorry. This is crazy. He brought his fist down then with the hammer in it. He literally just knocked out Isabel? Oh my gosh. That's insane, bro. You gonna tell this girl you like him and then just smash her in the head with a freaking... What the heck, bro? Oh my god, I'm in suspense right now. You just knocked out Isabel with a fucking hammer. Oh my gosh. That's crazy, bro. Okay, 234. Alec raced through the dark and burning street, calling out over and over for a line. As he left the Prince Water district and entered the heart of the city, his pulse quickened. The streets were like a Bosch painting coming to life, full of grotesque and macabre creatures and scenes of sudden hideous violence. Panicked strangers shoved Alec aside without looking and ran screaming past without any apparent destination. The air stank of smoke and demon. Some of the houses were in flames, others had their windows knocked out. The cobblestones sparkled with broken glass. As he drew close to one building, he saw that what he thought was a discolored patch of paint was a huge swath of fresh blood splattered across the plaster. He spun in place, glancing in every direction, but saw nothing that explained it. Nevertheless, he hurried away as quickly as he could. Alec, alone of all the Lightwood children, remembered Alicante. He'd been a toddler when they left, yet he still carried recollections of the shimmering towers, the streets full of snow in winter, chains of witchlight wreathing the shops and houses, water splashing in the mermaid fountain in the hall. He'd always felt an odd tug at his heart at the thought of Alicante, the half-painful hope that his family would return one day to the place where they belonged. To see the city like this was like the death of all joy. Turning onto a wider boulevard, one of the streets that led down to the Accords Hall, he saw a pack of Belial demons ducking through an archway, hissing and howling. They dragged something behind them, something that twitched and spasmed as it slid over the cobbled street. He darted down the street, but the demons were already gone. Crumpled against the base of a pillar was a limp shape leaking a spidery trail of blood. Broken glass crunched like pebbles under Alec's boots as he knelt to turn the body over. After a single glance at the purple, distorted face, he shuddered and drew away, grateful that it was no one he knew. A noise made him scramble to his feet. He smelled the stench before he saw it. The shadow of something humped and huge slithering toward him from the far end of the street. A greater demon? Alec didn't want to find out. He darted across the street toward one of the taller houses, leaping up onto a sill whose window glass had been smashed in. A few minutes later he was pulling himself onto the roof, his hands aching, his knees scraped. He got to his feet, brushing grit from his hands, and looked out over Alicante. The ruined demon towers cast their dull dead light down onto the moving streets of the city, where things loped and crawled and slunk in the shadow between buildings, like roaches skittering through a dark apartment. The air carried cries and shouts, the sounds of screaming, names called on the wind, and there were the circle of demons as well, howls of mayhem and delight. shrieks that pierced the human ear like pain. Smoke rose above the honey-colored stone houses in a haze, wreathing the spears of the Hall of Accords. Glancing up toward the guard, Alex saw a flood of shadowhunters racing down the path from the hill, illuminated by the witchlight they carried. The clay was coming down to battle. He moved to the edge of the roof. The buildings here were very close together, their eaves almost touching. It was easy to jump from this roof to the next and then to the one after that. He found himself running lightly along the rooftops, jumping the slight distance between houses. So we have Alec basically jumping over people's houses like he's Tom Cruise. Pretty cool. And I feel like this is going to be a really interesting scene because both the Clave and the Shadowhunters are now fighting a war. This is getting intense. Like, I'm really enjoying the story right now. This is getting... Something big is about to happen, I can tell. Alright, he moved to the edge of the roof. The buildings here were very close together, their eaves almost touching. It was easy to jump from this roof to the next, and then to the one after that. He found himself running lightly along the rooftops, jumping the slight distances between houses. It was good to have the cold wind in his face, overpowering the stench of demons. He'd been running for a few minutes before he realized two things. One, he was running toward the white spears of the Accord Hall, and two, there was something up ahead in a square between two alleys, something that looked like a shower of rising sparks, except that they were blue, a dark gas flame blue. Alec had seen the blue sparks like that before. He stared for a moment before he began to run. The roof closest to the square was steeply pitched. Alec skidded down the side of it, his boots knocking against loose shingles. Poised precariously at the edge, he looked down. Cistern Square was below him, and his view was partly blocked by a massive metal pole that jutted out midway down the face of the building he was standing on. A wooden shop sign dangled from it, swaying in the breeze. The square beneath was full of, I don't know how to say this, Iblis demons? Probably butchered that name. Iblis demons? It's like IBLAS? I don't know. Some kind of demon. Human shape but formed of a substance like coiling black smoke, each with a pair of burning yellow eyes. They had formed a line and were moving slowly toward the lone figure of a man in a sweeping gray coat, forcing him to retreat against a wall. These demons about to kill him, man. Crazy. Alec could only stare. Everything about the man was familiar. The lean curve of his back, the wild tangle of his dark hair, and the way that blue fire sprang from and the way that blue fire sprang from his fingertips like darting cyanotic fireflies. Magnus, the warlock, was hurling spears of blue fire in the Iblis demons. We got Magnus based down there, the high warlock of freaking New York, blowing demons away with blue fire. That's pretty freaking awesome, bro. Magnus blowing demons away with blue fire, like just shooting, like Dragon Ball Z, just literally just shooting blue fire from his freaking hands. I mean, how cool is that? I wish I was Magnus Bane, bro. Just hold up my hands and just freaking blue fire just blows from my hand. That'd be awesome, bro. Like just pow, you're dead. Pow, another demon dead. Pow. Oh, what was that? Boom, another demon dead. Blue fire just itching from my hands. That'd be so cool, man. Awesome. Magnus hurled another spat of fiery spears. The spears coming from his fucking hand, man. Now it's not just fire, it's fiery spears. Wow. Bro, this is insane shit right here, man. Several Iblis fell, but now another demon, more cunning than the others, had drifted around Magnus and was coalescing behind him, ready to strike. Look behind you, Magnus. Alec didn't stop to think. Instead, he jumped, catching the edge of the roof as he fell, and then dropped straight down to seize the metal pole and swing himself up and around it, slowing his fall. He released it and dropped lightly to the ground. The demon, startled, began to turn, its yellow eyes like flaming jewels. Alec had time only to reflect that if he were Jace, he would have had something clever to say before he snatched the seraph blade from his belt and ran it through the demon. With the dusty streak, the demon vanished, the violence of its exit from this dimension splattering Alec with a fine rain of ash. Alec? Magnus was staring at him. He had dispatched the remaining Iblis demons, and the square was empty, but for the two of them. Did you just save my life? Alec knew he ought to say something like, of course, because I'm a shadowhunter and that's what we do, or that's my job. Jace would have said something like that. Jace always knew the right thing to say. But the words that actually came out of Alec's mouth were quite different and sounded petulant even to his own ears. "You never called me back," he said. "I called you so many times and you never called me back." Magnus looked at Alec as if he lost his mind. "Your city is under attack," he said. "The wards have broken, and the streets are full of demons, and you want to know why I haven't called you back?" Alec set his jaw in a stubborn line. "I want to know why you haven't called me back." Magnus threw his hands up in the air, a gesture of utter exasperation. The middle of Shadowhunter War, and he's worried about why he got a missed call. You just saved Magnus's life, and you're worried about a missed call. I wouldn't be worried about my phone, bro. I'd be worried about how the fuck I'm gonna survive. Alec is so dumb. I'm not even gonna lie. Alec noted with interest that when he did it, a few sparks escaped from his fingertips like fireflies escaping from a jar. "You're an idiot." "Is that why you didn't call me? Because I'm an idiot?" "No," Magnus strode toward him. "I didn't call you because I'm tired of you only wanting me around when you need something. I'm tired of watching you be in love with someone else. Someone incidentally, who will never love you back. Not the way I do." "You love me?" "You stupid Nephilim," Magnus said patiently. "Why else am I here? Why else would I have spent the past few weeks patching up all your moronic friends every time they got hurt, and getting you out of every ridiculous situation you found yourself in, not to mention helping you to win a battle against Valentine, and all completely free of charge?" "I hadn't looked at it that way," Alec admitted. So now, Magnus is professing his love to Alec. So now we know there's more than just, friendship going on between him and Alec. I was actually kind of waiting for this moment, and now it's here. So let's see what happens. "Of course not. You never looked at it in any way." Magnus's cat eyes shone with anger. "I'm 400 years old, Alexander. I know when something isn't going to work. You won't ever admit I exist to your parents." Alex stared at him. "I thought you were 300. You're 400 years old?" "Well," Magnus said, 500. "But I don't look it. Anyway, you're missing the point. The point is," but Alec never found out what the point was because at that moment a dozen more Iblis demons flooded into the square. He felt his jaw drop. "Damn it." Magnus followed his gaze. The demons were already thinning out into a half circle around them, their yellow eyes glowing. "Way to change the subject, Lightwood." "Tell you what," Alec reached for a second seraph blade. "We lived through this, and I promise I'll introduce you to my whole family." Magnus raised his hands, his fingers shining with individual azure flames. They lit his grin with a fiery blue glow. "It's a deal." Chapter 11. All the Hosts of Hell. Okay, so that's all the time I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please go pick up City of Glass. I'm telling you, if you have not picked up City of Glass, you're missing out on a whole bunch of stuff. Please go ahead and subscribe, push that like button, and get the notification bell so you get all of my Shadowhunter videos, plus my other videos. I hope you guys have had a great day. I love this series. City of Glass, Mortal Instruments is always fun to read. I'm going to come back probably tomorrow and maybe do a little bit of Chapter 11, maybe a little bit of Chapter 12, and we'll see how it goes. Keep shadow hunting. Love you guys. Thank you.